Now I would like to invite Mr. V.S. Aditya Santosh sir, who is a law officer at NHPC Limited, to please share your experience with us. Over to you, sir.
Respected Vice Chancellor, sir, respected Alok, sir, organizing team, and all the members present here today. Very, very good morning. So, firstly, I want to publicly acknowledge my gratitude towards two people who are present in this gathering today. First is Alok, sir, and the second is Vivek, sir. I distinctly remember being so excited about lectures of Alok, sir, that essentially Alok, sir used to take lectures since from third year. So we used to eagerly wait that when will we reach third year so that we could hear lectures of Alok sir of CPC and Constitution. I had made really sort of in-depth notes from oral notes of what sir dictates, and sir used to dictate without any book or without the help of a textbook or a notes, right? And I had made a lot of notes of sir's lectures, and I still revise them today whenever I sit for an exam. So I never had an opportunity to thank Alok sir personally, but I want to use this platform to thank Alok sir, and also let him know that I am here where I am today only because of people like Alok sir. And secondly, Vivek sir. Vivek sir is a senior in my college. Vivek, sir, like I am providing guidance, a little bit of what I know. Similarly, similarly, Vivek sir had taken special interest in students like me who were aspiring to, enter into government service. So it's really a privilege to be part of this gathering today. So overall, so the subject that I was given to talk about today is on how to prepare for the CLAT examination. So I appeared for 2020 CLAT examination, and it was through that exam only I was selected for Ministry of Power PSU. So I also had an opportunity to look at 2021 question paper and 2022 question paper. So let me tell you that the question paper patterns, although on the website it has reflected the same since last 3 years, but if you were to look at it objectively for the last 3 years, that is 21, 20, 21, 22, there's a sea of difference, right? A person, for imagine, I have secured a good rank in 2020 exam, but I looked at 2022 paper and I realized that I may not have scored well in 2022, or some people who have scored very well in 2022 exam, when they look at 2020 exam, and they also get the same feeling. So CLAT exam is really experimenting with the syllabus, with the pattern, and they're yet to, and they're yet to reach a sort of uniformity in how they examine students. So I request all of you to take a plunge, experiment, read, you know, read something that interests you, and highlight concepts, understand concepts, and that is what eventually will help you clear the exam, right? The good understanding of a good conceptual understanding of the subjects mentioned in the syllabus, I think that's really what sets you up for the exam. So for example, just as an example, if you look at the 2022 question paper for CLAT, through which most PSU select, and also want to add that 2022 has been a splendid year for all the people who have given the exam. Major Maharatna corporations like ONGC Limited, Oil India Limited, and Tehri Hydro Development Corporation. In fact, Indian Army is for Judge Advocate General. So all these recruitment agencies are sort of geared towards CLAT examination, and they're putting a lot of emphasis. So, I think 2023 exam, which is in 2022-23 exam, which is in December, I think will also invite a lot of recruiters. So with that, I want to start by saying that if you look at the 2022 paper, there were questions on corporate taxation, which mostly undergraduate students, mostly undergraduate private college students, or students of constitutional law or business law, we don't focus much on corporate taxation. Similarly, there were questions on Juvenile Justice Act, although Juvenile Justice Act was not mentioned in the syllabus of the syllabus on the website, CLAD website. Similarly, there were lengthy comprehensive questions. The time that they're given is very limited, but you have to sort of read this lengthy passage and answer the questions based on it. The answers were eventually, I figured that the answers were in the pattern, in the comprehensive passage itself, but they were so long, they were so comprehensive that it took a lot of time for a lot of aspirants. So so you have to be you have to be really in terms prepared, not in the sense by merely reading bare acts or college notes or textbooks, but you have to read judgments, you have to read legal editorials, you have to read a lot of the lot of legal magazines to be prepared for the exam. I'll talk a little bit about the areas that you should prioritize and focus, right? Similarly, there were direct questions from Contract Act as well. So to study in a balanced way, you have to read read your basic, as in basic bare act provisions that are that have been highlighted in the recent judgments, etc. So so it's, I think it's a very balanced exam, but although, and they're always experimenting, so one cannot anticipate what the next question paper will be like. But based on the based on the previous experiences and the educational material that has helped me, I will give you certain advice today. All right. So so firstly, I want to emphasize that most of the question paper, major chunk of the question paper comes from judgments. Now, when I started preparing for CLAT 2020, yeah, so 3-4 months prior to the exam, the syllabus was revealed that it will be primarily focused on judgments as well. Till that time, although I've read very few judgments during internship, but till that time, I've never looked at a judgment in a comprehensive fashion. Right? It's like reading from first page to the last page. I've never done that. But when I realized that when I realized that the syllabus is majorly involves judgments, like all the 3 years, I started, I started looking at judgments and slowly understanding them. But only then I realized that the most interesting, the most interesting part of preparing for CLAT examination is that you'll get a chance to read all these landmark and the most important judgments. Otherwise, any other exam would not, does not focus on judgments, right? But for a law student, and if you want to understand the concept, and if you want to gain the conceptual clarity of various laws, I think judgments lays down a really great path to attain that knowledge, right? So what I've done was every year Live Law publishes the top 50 or top 100 judgments on its website. So I used to make notes on the top 50 or 100 judgments of that particular year. And I used to take out at least 25 or 30 of those judgments, which I feel are really important. And then those 25, 30 judgments, I used to thoroughly study the entire judgment, be it 100 pages, be it 200 pages, be it 300 pages. And that's what all the top rankers also of my friends who have secured, that's what they also prescribe. So CLAT exam is judgments and judgments is CLAT exam. So mainly focus on judgments, mainly focus on understanding judgments, and make a notes on all the important points that the judges highlight in these major landmark judgments, like 5 judge benches or 7 judge benches, or any of the recent judgments, for example, Karnataka High Court judgment on hijab, or the NEET examination judgment. So judgments like this you should focus and make your notes on, and then that's what helps you achieve a good rank in the exam. Similarly, along with judgments, and now comes the question: which judgment should I focus on? Right? Only criminal law or civil law? Take a look at the syllabus on the CLAT Consortium website. So there are about 12 to 13 laws that are prescribed in the syllabus. So you have to search for landmark judgments that have been passed in that particular year on these particular laws, right? And focus on those judgments, and it will be a it will help you a great deal in clearing the exam.